we're going to take another look at section 2.3 for your homework number 11. This again is going to be solving quadratic equations by factoring. I just try to keep these videos short. I know you don't want to sit and listen to long periods of this, so I try to keep them around 5 minutes so that you can watch these and be through and go work some. In problem number 8, you see that we have a quadratic equation, but everything is not equal to 0. So the first thing I need to do is to rearrange this. I'm going to have everything equal to 0, so I'm going to move positive 7x to the left, it becomes negative 7x. Negative 2 to the left, it becomes positive 2. Now it's in descending order, everything equals 0, it does not have a common factor, so I'm going to use my method that I used in the last video called bottoms up. That's just my little name for it. Now remember, I'm going to multiply the first and the last term together. 6 times 2 is 12. Because of this sign, remember I'm working from the outside in, plus it tells me that I'm going to be adding to get a negative 7. Now you need to multiply and get a 12, add and get a negative 7. 1 times 12 is 12, but if you add you get 13. That would not work. 2 times 6 is 12. If you add, you would get 8. That does not work. 3 times 4 is 12, and if I add 3 and 4, I do get a 7. Now, to get a negative 7, both 4 and 3 would need to be negative. Now, at this point, remember I told you to trust me. You're going to go back and pick up this first term without the square, and that becomes your denominator. Now, I have two fractions, and I see if I can reduce. 3 over 6 would reduce to 1 over 2. 4 over 6 reduces by 2 to 2 over 3. Now, here's where I get my name bottoms up, because I'm going to read from the bottom to the top of each fraction. 2x minus 1. And bottoms up on the second, 3x minus 2. Now I have two linear equations, and I'm going to solve for both of these. Set both of them equal to 0. Move your constant to the side by itself. Divide by the coefficient of x. So 1 is x equals 1/2. Divide by 3 in this one, x is equal to 2/3. Now remember, my math lab will want you to write this as one answer, comma, the other answer. These are called zeros. Now, the last problem that I'm going to show you like this, again, is problem number 9 on your sheet. Now if you'll notice, this is not a quadratic because it has a degree 3. But the first thing I'm going to do is to get everything equals 0, and you'll see what happens. I'll have 3x cubed. Now let's put this in descending order. So the 5x squared brought over will become negative 5x squared plus 2x. Now remember, the first thing you always look for is a greatest common factor. And I do have a greatest common factor in this problem, and it's x. So I'm going to remove that. And then in the parenthesis, I have 3x squared minus 5x plus 2. Now, if you'll notice, this x equals 0 is going to be one of my factors. But now I have a quadratic trinomial right in here. And I'm going to work that just like I did the last example. So I'm going to work with 3x squared minus 5x plus 2. Multiply the first and last, that'll be 6. The first sign says that I'll be adding, it's a plus, to get a negative 5. Now remember, you're multiplying to get a 6. What about 1 times 6? If you add, you get a 7. So it seemed right, but it doesn't work. 2 times 3 multiplies to get a 6, and if you add, I do get a 5. To add and get a negative, both would need to be negative. Now again, remember we said we were going to divide by the first term without the square, so that's 3x. 2 over 3 does not reduce. 3 over 3 reduces to 1. Now bottoms up. Now, if you'll remember, I have this x just sitting there, and I'm going to fill my parentheses now with 3x minus 2 and x minus 1. Now I have 3 factors that I'm setting equal to 0. First one is x equals 0. The second one I'll move the 2 and divide by 3. The third one I'll move the 1. So now because I had an x cubed, I now have 3 answers. I have the answer 0, the answer 2 over 3, and the answer 1. And that would be my answers. Now, I want us to look at one problem that's actually on your handout. This was solving quadratic equations by factoring. You will be given some graphs, and you'll be asked 2 things: to find the x-intercepts and the zeros. We did this in the last assignment. Let's see if we can remember. This is an x-intercept. That's the point where the graph crosses the x-axis. And remember, x-intercepts are ordered pairs. They're ordered pairs where y is equal to 0. All I need are these x values. Well, that's 0, 0. This one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 0. Now, in the B question, it says don't write these as x-intercepts. Write them as zeros. And that's just the number. I want that x value and this x value, so it's the 0, 0, and it's the 0, 4. Not written as an ordered pair, but just written as 2 separate solutions. Again, this is section 2.3. It's lesson 11. It deals with solving by factoring. Greatest common factor, difference of 2 squares, and trinomials.